Greetings, citizens of the Imperium, citizens of the Inner Sphere, and welcome to another episode of Let's Paint. I am your host, Trooper6, and today, as you saw from the thumbnail, we have the Bounty Hunter. But not just any Bounty Hunter, this Bounty Hunter. Which Bounty Hunter is that? Dude, I honestly don't know. I haven't even gotten around to reading this bad boy just yet. But obviously, as you can see, this is an anthology, so it has a bunch of different books about the various bounty hunters and their various adventures. But what I have come to gather is that the bounty hunter's kind of a funny prick. He's almost not above any contract, as far as I can tell. And the dude is a bit of a troll when it comes to his paint scheme, which when it comes to his paint scheme, we are going to use two, pretty much, primary colors here. Well, one primary color, two different shades. My apologies for the lack of mixture on this. Don't worry, it will not affect the model. We have Astra Militarum green, and we have Mantis Warriors green. The Mantis Warriors green is more of an accent piece, whereas the majority of this model will be in the Militarum green. Let me get napkin. Why in God's name would I need a napkin? Well, you weirdos, we'll tell you. It's because, of course, here on Let's Paint, we support using the slap chop method, so we're going to go with a matte white. Sorry, brain fart. Get a little bit of your matte white out. And how much is a little bit? That much, which is kind of a lot of it. But grab your favorite dry brushing brush. And here we go. Now see, I had already made a mistake. I had started to dry brush this, and then I was like, hold on. If I do that, that takes away 90%. Not 90% of the model, but you know, it takes away from the show. So I stopped myself midway, and I was just like, no. We'll save that for the show. Give you guys just a little bit more time of me yakking, attacking. But I was trying to think of what the hell was I going to talk about this week, right? And I just happened to look down, and I'm wearing a t-shirt that I had made a few years ago in honor of a local ska band. If y'all don't know what ska music is, it is fantastic music. A friend of mine had pointed out that one of the reasons he loves it that I didn't quite, I guess, identify at the moment was that it is very cheerful music with often screwed up lyrics. Now, there's plenty of music out there that has, you know, tendencies like that. But ska music is where punk meets reggae. And I love it. And I was introduced to it when I was in high school. And I would say that it did absolutely alter me in just a way. It's not like, oh man, it changed my life. Yeah, I was still the same jackass as I ever was. Especially in high school, you know, you're just a poser. So it's okay. I have no problem admitting that I was a poser back then. You know, being punk was not, it's nothing else but a frame of mind, a state of mind, and a lifestyle choice. But it's a very thin line of going into poser territory. And honestly, you don't need to look a certain way to be a punk. You know, the most punk friend I ever knew did not look a certain way, really. He wore, you know, any kind of jeans, I guess. And he usually wore some kind of simple flannel. Okay, if anything, he almost would look like someone who listened to the suicidal tendencies. You know, just Okay. But the band that I keep dancing around, a local band that I'd been seeing for like the past 20 years or some odd, is a band called Jack Move. Now, Jack Move is one word, and they are fantastic. I've known some of them. I don't want to say personally, somewhat on a first name basis. You know, I tended to get starstruck with them, and that is my fault. I try not to do things like that. I don't think people react the best when, you know, when you treat them like a deity. So we're getting some Blood Angels Red. I know we said we're going with green, but Blood Angels Red, this is going to be for the cockpit. And I'm going to try to stick to what the book was showing, and just the cockpit being right here and not this side window or top panel here. It's just going to be right there. Very direct. And depending on who you ask, that is what the cockpit is. I don't mind having a cockpit window on the top and the sides. I don't mind having that. That just kind of makes tactical sense to me. You know, you need to be able to see what the hell you're doing. Got my Java. All right, but yeah, Jack Move, right? Bunch of awesome local VB guys introduced me to ska music, introduced me to just going to like local shows and everything. Fantastic people. I could not praise them enough. I know I would never be able to praise them enough. I love them. They are basically my favorite band. I've had that conversation with people plenty of times before. Hey man, who's your favorite band? I've always had a little bit of trouble answering that, but these days I would probably just say it's Jack Move, and naturally, 9 times out of 10, who? I'm like, yeah, they're a local band. Not to sound like some pretentious asshole, like, oh, well, my favorite band's a local band. Just no, I actually kind of know these guys. I don't like saying that I know these guys because it's not like I party with them or anything like that. But, I've seen them play live for the past 20 years. I've been around for basically all of their albums that they've released. They are amazing. I've seen them play at the also legendary Jewish Mother. That was a restaurant bar down at the oceanfront long time ago. It is no longer there. I believe the Juma is gone. I think they are somewhat associated with Elevation 27, which is another local bar slash venue. In fact, I think they just got put a part of, or just kind of joined the local venue or big time venue association, something like that. I don't know. They got a new kind of achievement for them, and it was pretty cool. But there was no bar restaurant down at the oceanfront called the Juma. Specifically Jewish Mother. But we always go to the Juma, of course, and we used to go there and see them play. A buddy of mine even had a song written about him because he was spotted dancing outside of the bar because he couldn't afford a ticket to get in. And, it was loud enough. We know the music, so he was just out there dancing away. I've seen them. I've seen that at a few places, man. Like the Bunker, I think was the last time that I saw them, maybe. But this shirt that I'm wearing, so they didn't really have shirts. The only legit shirt that I have bought, that I've purchased from them, is now on my collage t-shirt blanket. I had that t-shirt blanket made just because I was running out of room for shirts. So I was like, you know what? I need to do something with this. So I just cut up the t-shirts, had them put together into an awesome fleece-lined blanket, and I love that blanket. That is my that is my main blanket that's basically my comforter. I don't have a comforter. It is that fleece-lined t-shirt blanket is my comforter. And it's a twin, so my wife has her own blankets, I have my own blankets, so we never fight over them. And there you go. But either way, so yeah, this shirt on the back I had printed Shaka's, which was another local venue. I've seen plenty of bands play there, and I mean plenty. Everyone from like Jack Move and man, I'm having some trouble thinking. So like there's shows that I wish I'd gone to see there, but I'd seen a lot of people from like Jack Move to Cannibal Corpse. Cannibal Corpse absolutely played there, and that was a great, fantastic show. They killed it. Who else? Who else did I go see there? Oh, plenty of fucking people. John 5. I've seen John 5 twice there. I've seen Jack Move there quite a few times now, but the shirt that I had made specifically for them was to showcase the 50/50 reunion tour in 2016. Now, the 50/50 refers to their first album. The name of their first album was 50/50, and I believe you can find it on YouTube. I encourage anybody who likes trying out some new music, go check out Jack Move. You can see why they're my favorite band, and they are amazing. They have 3 albums as far as I know. You know, they're 2 mainstays in an EP. And last time I talked to them is that they were still trying to get everybody coordinated and together so that they could record another album. And nothing has happened yet, so that's unfortunate. But I love them so much that I wanted them to be the band at our wedding, which my wife was fine with. I never got to do it. Never got to do it, but it's okay. It's okay. Life happens. We just never got to seal that deal. But the 50/50 reunion tour was debatably the best concert I think I'd ever gone to in my life. My best friend was there. Even my buddy Richard, who I've mentioned before on the show, he came to the show. Dude, we did not leave that pit the entire time. I mean, start to finish. And what they did was, it was their official. They were not exactly coming out of retirement. They were doing a reunion show, but they weren't planning on doing anything more than that. But they had so much fun on stage that they announced right there that they were like, screw it, we're just coming back. So naturally, we all went ape shit for that. And it just made the night even better. And like I said, we spent that entire night from the start of the show to the end of the show in that pit. And it was magical. Just absolutely magical. They played their first album, 50/50, front to back. You basically had the original cast right there. All the original members. I even got pictures with them. They're framed sitting on my shelf. If I can remember, I'll take pictures of it. I think they're still over there. I'd have to dig them out maybe. Yeah, it was a truly magical day for anybody. You know, you spend the evening listening to your favorite band. They basically know you by name. They remember you from back in the day. You know, because we hadn't seen each other in about a decade or so. They still remember seeing you at the bar. You know, I get to showcase my I get to showcase my custom patch that I made and put that on the back of the shirt. They loved that. They took a picture of it, uploaded it to their, I think, Facebook at the time, and that went to the internet. So when I looked them up, I could find my vest, like there on Google Images, and that was really cool. I always thought that was fantastic. All right, military green. There you go. Straightforward and simple. Now we're going to jump over to Manta screen. As you see, I have left certain spots still kind of whitish. And the Manta screen, I don't think is going to pop all that much. It's not like I didn't go heavy-handed with the dry brushing. And I could have lightened things up even more, but I chose not to. It doesn't need to be that drastic of a difference, but you are going to notice it. As far as I know, when it comes to this guy, the bounty hunter or gal, they did not shy away from showing off their paint scheme. It was loud, it was boisterous, but you know, they were also that good. They could show up, salvage everything, and dip. But yeah, man, so the Jack Move show, and basically every show I've seen of them, was gold. Those are some of my best. I have trouble saying concert memories because, you know, a concert is like a certain level of not only just of the band and their status, but also like venue. Excuse me, and crowd. But Jack Move has totally played at places like ECSE. I was about to say the local surfing competition, but no, that's actually ECSE, the totally legit and I want to say internationally known. I don't know if it's known internationally, but you know, one of the biggest surfing competitions in the country held here on our shores, which I find to be funny because I always scoffed, not exactly in a personal way, against surfers, because they're just like, yeah, man, I'm a surfer. Dude, we live in Virginia Beach. What surf are you talking about? I know people used to have longboards with surfing because we didn't really, you know, this isn't Point Break. We don't have a decent surf, more or less. But I was never a surfer growing up, so I don't know what time the tides and everything. Like, I don't know when it's prime time to get my surf on. So maybe I am wrong. And if I am, that's cool. That's awesome. That's cool. I'm good with being wrong on that. All right, now we need some gunmetal. Do some metal bits. We're trucking right along with this. Luckily, we're using contrast paints, so not a lot of things will take long to dry. But there are some things that I do want to hit with the metal, like the ankle joints. I like hitting certain things with the metal because I don't believe every single thing is going to be painted. To me, that doesn't necessarily seem very realistic. And even if it was painted, from the wear and tear of the robot moving, of the Mech, sorry guys, of the Mech moving, you know, you're gonna wear off the paint. So it never made much sense to me to have literally every inch of it painted. So this is what I usually do. Other people do, you know, just like with Warhammer, you paint it however you fucking please. And we're just happy that you painted. More or less. We're just happy you painted something. Your pile of shame has gotten smaller. And that's okay with us. It's kind of like when you're writing a book. We're really glad that you wrote a book. There was a writer, David Foster Wallace, who more or less said in his own words, there's nothing worse than somebody running around saying, I'm a writer, I'm a writer, I'm a writer. Okay. I'm a painter, I'm a painter, I'm a painter. Well, unless you show what the fuck you'd like, what? I don't know. Are you a painter? Do you paint? Or are you just talking about it? It kind of comes down to that in a way. In a way. I'm not being the most articulate about it. And that's kind of whatever. I also half-ass apologize if we seem a little off today. We are a little off today. We'll be alright. Speaking of which, I hope everyone is happy and healthy. Address your feelings, people. Nothing wrong with that. If you got a problem, say something. It's always better to speak up and speak out rather than to shut up and shut down. I would much rather people just speak. What's on your mind? There's pretty much little to zero chance of misinterpretation when people just speak the fuck up. When you just speak your mind, speak your feelings, you're not exactly in a space to misinterpret people when they're telling you what's wrong or anything like that. And that's not me just saying in a roundabout way. I've always preached that kind of mentality. Just speak up. And that comes from someone who never was allowed to speak up when I was a kid. I'm sure my parents would have said otherwise. I've been like, no, of course you could have. No. And I've had that conversation with them too. No, I was not allowed to speak up because, it's all my fault anyway. They were being the classic narcissistic boomers that you hear about in the memes. What is irritating is those memes are, as funny as they are, they're not even that funny to me anymore because now it's just sad that it's so accurate. And that it kind of hurts that way. But it is what it is, To quote the boomer generation, it is what it is. I'm sorry I was human. I wasn't difficult. I was 15. I wasn't defiant. I was trying to figure out who I am as a person. I was trying to figure out how independent I wanted to be. I had ideas. It's a whole smattering of things to figure out as a young man, as a young adult. I think anybody would have to deal with those issues, those challenges. But it's alright. The more I've done these, I want to say older model. I don't know. It's just so... This thing looks a little alien. It almost looks a little clunky. Almost. It's not like the old metal retro models. My God. Those things really did step off the old 80s artwork pages. Just like, yeah, that's your robot? Yeah? Okay. It's always interesting to see shit like that. But we're going to get out Demonic Yellow for a few reasons. One, that is going to be what we're going to use to draw the Seabills sign that apparently goes in an ungodly amount of places in the armor. We are not going to go too crazy. I don't believe that the bounty hunter went all that crazy with it anyway. But I do want to try to get the cockpit a little bit, but it's not easy with this long brush, and already I'm get a little bit of water in there and mix that. Yeah, we're not too happy with how that just went, but that's kind of whatever. I'm going to put a dot there for that. All right. We just need to go whoop, 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 whoop. That'll be fine. That'll be okay right there. I think that'll be okay. So anyway, like I said, we need the Seabells logo, which is just a C with a little strike on it. Actually, before I even do that, let me get one of my things out for a reference. And I don't mean the book. You know, even though the book would be a perfect reference point, I think anybody out there would be like, well, duh, dumbass, you just had the book. I don't have to use the book for your reference. I don't want to. I want to use the other bounty hunter that I did. This is my first take on the bounty hunter. And I did it with that loadout. Oh, man, I also forgot to do the... Well, that's fine, because we haven't touched the base. But yeah, I've got Seabill logos in a few places. Some of them are not exact... So that one, basically, there's your Seabell logo, but also I chose some Astra Militarum logos because they have a C. And I was like, hey, what do you know? Seabells. So, 'tis what it is. But I was also trying not to... get too much with it. Freestyle or freehanding can be very challenging if you don't practice or even plot out where you want some of your logos. I encourage people to practice your freehand. There ain't no way to get better other than to just do it. So I say, do it. You know, at first things are not going to turn out how you want them, but that is okay. That is where they say practice, practice, practice makes perfect, perfect, perfect. So just practice. And we just, as you saw, we just kind of jumped right on in there. We didn't really set up much. We just jumped right in there with the paint. And that's all you really need to do sometimes is just go for it, you know? Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. And that one is just god awful ugly. But hey, that's all right. As I've said before, I don't have the headspace for it. I don't know. Words are hard. Words can be hard. But I say we get some white out. We'll get the white out, not get white out. But we're going to go ahead and, get the base going. Basically, the mech is done. More or less. God, sorry, burping in awkward ways. I could spend more time drawing the C-bills. I think I'm going to leave it alone because I'm honestly not that happy with this one. It kind of is what it is. But as you can see, we just painted the damn thing in 30 minutes. And it doesn't need to be your be-all, end-all. But I can tell you right now, I do not believe this one would make it to Etsy. Whereas I'm pretty sure the first one did. I honestly don't remember if I'd posted it yet or not. Etsy's also been quiet. That's been interesting. But I know people are facing a lot of financial issues at the moment with the state of the world. Especially here in the US, where things are just basically batshit insane. Kind of is what it is. All right. Let's get out the Armageddon dust. You know what we're doing. The Wasteland base, as always. It's the most simple. I preach this stuff all day because you don't need to be even all that good to be able to work it. You know, get a chunk, slap it on there, start spreading it around as you see fit. Don't let it get too thin, of course, because then it just won't look right. But you know, a little bit of paint can and will go a long way. So just spread appropriately, much like a gynecologist would. Work the paint how you need it. Don't get greedy. And don't get cocky. Sorry. Thought something was crawling on my leg. I was like, don't freak out, don't freak out, don't freak out. It's probably just hairs on your leg freaking out. Punking you. Making you think you're under attack. My daughter was asking me that the other day. She was like, why are your legs so hairy? I was like, because I'm a 36-year-old man? I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? You know, despite the fact that you're right, you're new here, you don't understand. She was like, but why do we have hair on our legs? I was like, well, I'm sure there are many reasons, but the thing that I can think of right now is that it'd be like, kind of like a defense mechanism. I was like, let's make this practical to her, right? So I was like, think of it like a defense mechanism. You have hair on your legs. Bug gets on your leg. It starts crawling around and moving around. It's going to go past all these hairs. Your body will detect this. You will feel it moving past those hairs so that you can now defend yourself and get rid of said bug. Something like that, you know. But it also serves other purposes. It can help keep you cool, I guess. It can help, whatever. Just help keep you warm, I guess, if the hair you are, you know, kind of like an animal with fur. All right. And she did get the point. She was like, am I going to have hairy legs? And I was like, probably. But, you know, you can talk to Mama about this one day. But I was like, women usually shave. That's just culturally what you guys do here. She's like, why? I'm like, fuck if I know. One day they were just like, screw it. You know, when women started wearing shorts. It was a little unsightly, I guess, for them to have hairy legs. I guess fashion people at the time were just like, ew. When in all honesty, who the hell gives a shit? And I want to say that's it for the bounty hunter. I mean, there's not much else to do. I guess, you know what? Yeah, we'll take some white and we'll get the lasers. He's got lasers. You know, why not? He's rocking what? 2 PPCs and maybe some large lasers there. It's hard to tell what he's got. I honestly forgot to look up his loadout. It's like I said, we were a little bit off today. Coming into this one, we were a little off. It's all right. It's also been very rainy, so there's not going to be much skating for us. But with that lack of skating comes plenty of time to get some painting done. So I am hoping that I will just man up and do some more work for you guys, because I kind of need to. You know, the channel has been a little stagnant lately, and that is my fault. I guess I'm not painting what people want to see. But also, you know, I had gotten carried away with all the skating stuff, and I did tone back and put that where it needs to go, somewhere else. Which I don't apologize for doing it per se. I was excited, and like many people, I have other interests other than just painting. Should I have put them here? No. Did I remedy that? Yeah. But did I remove the things that I posted? Hell no. Hell no, I didn't remove that. One of the worst things you could do for your YouTube, so it was pointed out to me when I first started, was to remove things. To remove, like, your content. Because the content goes, and so does all the algorithm statistics that go with it. So all of your views, the likes, all the engagement, and it actually, you know, that would hurt your channel. So I did leave it up there because, hey, it's still part of me. And it was, you know, a little paint break. Here you go. Enjoy some skating. Maybe you guys would be like, hey, you know what? That looks like fun. And want to try it yourself. If not, and it just annoyed you, well, that's fine. That is fine. I am good with that. Alright, so these things can be absolutely painted with some plasma coil glow. At least the top ones would. The bottom ones I'll hit with Tesseract glow. Make it green. Because that has no business, both of them being blue. Because if these are really supposed to be PPCs, I figure it'd be kind of like the game, and they'll be blue. Oh, excuse me. And that they'll be blue and not anything else. All right. There we go. Get that going. Now I can also break out my felt pen and do some hazard stripes, because, yeah, that is dry. We'll do some hazard stripes. Go blip, 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 blip. Right there. Right there. Right there. All right. There you go. So a little bit thinner this time. A little bit thinner for the hazard stripes. And what I usually do is I get out Black Legion. If I don't just get out a flat out matte black, I will get out Black Legion. And I will hit it up like so. And then, of course, what I usually do after this is I will... Damn, dude, this brush is not having it. I will usually go back and edge highlight. I'm just trying to decide on what color that we're going to edge highlight that with. And I think we're going to hit it with the yellow. I think the yellow will work just fine. All right. So that just needs some time to dry. The base needs time to dry before I can hit it. Now, as per usual, what do I tell you guys when it comes to hitting that base? I hit it with Reichland Flesh Shade, which, damn, I need to get more of. The Reichland Flesh Shade, it's an awesome paint. It's a shade oil, not even a paint, really. I always hit the Wasteland base, so it'll darken that thing right up to something like that. And then, of course, you can dry brush over it with something lighter, like Krieg Khaki. Dry brush it and make it pop right back out. And it'll be awesome. And then, if you really feel like doing that, you take Nuln Oil and you go over the regular model itself. Go over the mech, I mean. And bam, give it some depth and dimension that you otherwise might not get. Say if you're just not completely satisfied with how the thing looks, like I'm currently kind of feeling about it, some Nuln Oil could more or less save the day. And I'm not going to claim here that it absolutely makes or breaks the model. It could make or break your model. So you guys see it right now. All right, and we're not the most happy with it. All right. Now the shade oil is going to darken everything we've done, which is okay. But you have to also remember that it is, like I just said, going to darken everything you do. It could even blend some stuff in. You know, these C-bill signs might not stand out that much anymore. So you could lose that aesthetic. Say, you know, for the good ones that you might like, you'd be like, ah, damn. For the bad ones, you're like, meh, whatever. I think it was my Aussie friend. He had said, yeah. It was like, yeah, it looks like you. It looked like the mech had not been washed. I'm like, right. I usually do, you know, especially because of the base. You're in an active battle zone. You're not gonna have like the cleanest mech. You're just not going to have that. So, you know, for my Warhammer painting, of course I'm gonna slap some Nuln Oil on it, some shade. Throw some shade that way. And darken that bad boy right up. Make it look a little meaner. Make it look dirtier. You know, it's on a battlefield. It needs to look like it's on a battlefield. It always throws me off when people have, you know, these awesome bases that look like, oh man, that'd be like a worn-torn area, but you got this pristine armor. And there's nothing really wrong with that, because it could just be like, hey, well, they just teleported in, or they're right there, they just got to the battlefield, something like that. I have even used that excuse. It was a World Eater Terminator that I did. And they were like, wow, he's pretty clean. I was like, yeah, he just teleported in. Like, I'm sorry, World Eaters don't just show up covered in blood. Believe it or not. If they do, it's because they did not clean their armor from before. Well, this guy just happened to get here now. Like, yeah, sorry. if you're going to bitch about it, I'm going to throw you some last minute lore. Yeah, he just teleported in. He likes clean armor. It makes him feel more connected in every battle. He'll take a selfie beforehand and go, yeah, look at that. And then he'll take a selfie afterwards and be like, yeah, mission complete. You know, Korn would be proud. And what do you know? There you go. And there you go. There it is. All right, let's get... Yeah. Let's get the yellow. We wasted a lot of yellow on this one. I feel bad about that. But I'm going to get the yellow, and now we're going to... Not enough yellow. All right. Get that edge highlight going. Oh, come on. Come on, you pain in the ass. Oh, this yellow was not our friend today. It's okay, though. There we go, friends. Bounty Hunter. Marauder. Complete. All I gotta do is wait for this bad boy to dry. Just a bit more. Throw the flesh shade on it. And then dry brush that base. Throw them on the turntable. And you'll see the final result before I will. No, well, not before I will. That was fucking dumb, wasn't it? You will see the final result in just a few seconds. But until then, I want to say thank you guys very much for stopping by. Let me know what you might want to see on the show. I'm open to a lot of suggestions. I have plenty of other mechs. I also have other things like this IG-88. He will be featured on the show one episode. I just don't know when. I also have a Cerberus planned, but I think I might do either 40K or I'll do Fallout next week. But if you guys have a preference, go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, you'll just have to see what we do next week. Thank you guys. Will you please stay happy and healthy? May the Void Father guide your brush. Peace.